4th of September, 2024, and there is an AI crypto market explosion incoming. Yeah. What do I mean by that? There are, as you know, if you are in the crypto space, a significant number of AI crypto projects, meaning like crypto tokens, crypto coins, other crypto-based, blockchain projects, etc., that have AI components. In some cases, they are, very connected. In other cases, less so. In other cases, it's complete nonsense. It's just PR fluff, and they're just doing it to get the attention. But the real ones, or the ones that appear to be real, are certainly making a significant leap forward as of the last number of months. And that's happening in a bunch of different ways. If you are following the AI crypto market, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to go through every crypto project right now that's related to AI, or even the top ones. What I'm going to tell you, though, is it is a sector of the market, or you call it a segment if you want. Right? It is a vertical that you want to be looking at across the crypto industry and landscape, right? Why? Because AI-powered devices, whether they're blockchain devices or whatever, are going to have an increasing amount of influence over the marketplace in the coming years. How do we know that? Well, we know that because there is an increasing amount of investment happening in the AI space, right? And many of those companies are investing into blockchainizing, if that's even a word, blockchaining their projects, connecting their projects to either blockchains or other Web3 components. But generally speaking, they're connecting them to blockchains, obviously, and then either connecting them to a cryptocurrency or creating their own cryptocurrency or their own crypto token currency or whatever, or creating another component of a Web3 project. It could even be NFT related. There's definitely NFT related AI crypto projects happening since a while. There are other kinds of Web3 and blockchain projects and products and services that have already been in development. Some of them are released, very early stage products and services that can be tested, used, etc. But is very much in the development stage. And what does that mean? That means it's still very early. So, certainly much newer than overall crypto, obviously, and newer than the latest trend over the last few years of large language model AI, right? We're talking about different kinds of AI, not just all large language model based stuff, which is, nice and handy for a lot of stuff that people do, but not a solution for everything, right? There's going to be AI for many different things. There's AI for medical stuff, there's AI for logistical stuff, there's AI for education, there's AI for science, there's AI for, health and nutrition, you name it. There are AI projects being developed around the world for all kinds of different things. And the opportunity is enormous in terms of what can actually be not just developed, but rolled out onto the market for products and services that are connected with AI and crypto. Why? Because, the big data is key for AI to proceed and develop, right? You need big data. You need a lot of data usually for AI to be useful to people. For example, if you're driving around in your Tesla or whatever, your map is connected, your map system is connected to the AI computers, the Tesla supercomputers that are all hooked up in their big data centers. Why do they have big data centers? So that they can keep the maps updated, so that all the, either self-driving or you're driving down the road and you want to know what's on the street, and they can tell you, whether or not there's a car in front of you, or whether or not you're, however many miles from your destination, and all that kind of stuff. All that data is collectively called big data because it's a big amount, right? And there's massive amounts of it. And Tesla is by far one of the biggest, if not the biggest, AI data collector in the world right now. Could change over time. We'll see. It depends how fast other companies, whether they be car companies or anyone else, develop more significant data. GM certainly has the capability, if they wanted to roll out an AI product. If they were to focus on it and develop it, they obviously sell far more cars than Tesla, and they could have a big data product in every single GM car released in the next year which would vastly outpace the number of Tesla cars on the road. They sell more, I think, in a year than Tesla has ever sold. So, and probably Ford could also do something similar. Within a couple of years, they'd have more, maybe within a year. And what's it called? Stellantis, formerly known as Chrysler, could also, roll out tons of cars. So could Toyota, so could Hyundai, so could Honda. These are all cars that sell tons and tons of cars compared to Tesla. Yeah, sure, Tesla's selling more cars than before, in the earlier years, but they're still a relatively small car company in terms of actually rolling out the number of cars out of production. Right? They don't sell enormous amounts of cars yet compared to the traditional car manufacturers. And so, yeah, when people see that, they say, well, then why is their stock value the way it is? Why is their market cap so high? Well, a lot of it is, speculation that it will do better in the future, etc. So they price in all that, and, people, well, it's really the VEPS that causes the price to go the way it does, but there's a lot of speculation in any asset, and that's why people buy into things that they believe are going to go up or down. Right? Not everybody's using the VEPS. That doesn't mean the VEPS don't move the markets, but people aren't using the VEPS to make their trading decision or their investment decisions. Certainly not. 5 or 10 years ago, the only people using that kind of information were really professional options traders, etc., on the floor of like stock exchanges and stuff, or people who just had access to the information and knew about it and were smart enough to know how to use it, which was not the case for most people, and still isn't, by the way, right? Most people don't use the VEPS. They have no idea even that it exists, and that's fine. I mean, just look at this video, right? How many people are even looking at my videos where I talk about the VEPS quite regularly in YouTube videos, or look at our streams on Alpha Trading, where we do like, hour and a half streams every day. We do 2 hours even for years, right? And now we still do hour and a half for like 6 years or whatever. Why do we do that? Why do we put out so much content if nobody watches? Well, we don't put out content for the masses. We put out content for the diamond in the rough that's going to find us one way or the other and decides that they want to actually learn a better way to trade. And that's the whole purpose of trading the VEPS. Anyways, this is not about that. This is about AI and crypto, right? So AI and crypto, like I said, there are a lot of projects already in the works. You can go to Crypto Market Cap, whatever it's called, Coin Market Cap, and look at the crypto projects, right? You can go to any of those sites, CoinGecko or whatever. Look at just the crypto projects that have AI. Right? Look at the AI projects. There's tons of them. There's tons of specialized sites that show you lists of, specifically just the AI projects. But you can certainly look at the big ones and see, the big sites, and see the indexes of those AI-related projects, and get a sense of what's happening in the AI crypto space. And it is not nothing, right? It is not for nothing that people are developing AI crypto, because they realize the big data will help the project, right? And the bigger the data, the bigger the product or service will be, because it'll have more information. And if you can connect that to transactions, if you can connect that to accounting, if you can connect that to asset management, if you can connect that to property rights, if you can connect that to health files, if you can connect that to whatever it is you're connecting it to, having artificial intelligence is perceived to be a beneficial feature of products and services. And that's why we're going to keep seeing increased number of features of products and services using AI with their crypto, right? That's why it's going to keep happening more and more, not less and less. So I highly recommend looking into. Again, I'm not telling you any individual one, because I'm not here to pump any individual one. I just don't care. Like it or not, just do your research and know what we're talking about. I've mentioned it before. I've even mentioned specific ones that I think are interesting or whatever, but I didn't ever tell you to buy into any of them, because I will never do that, right? Just like I won't even tell you to buy into Bitcoin. For me personally, I like Bitcoin. I like Solana. I like Litecoin. I like, these are things I like. That doesn't mean you should like them. It doesn't mean you should buy into any of them. It's up to you. But you should at least know about them, right? At least be aware of them. If you have time to research them, things like that. But again, AI products and services that are related to crypto are going to be significantly bigger than they are now in the coming years. Now, are there going to be a whole bunch that disappear? Yes. But the vast majority of any investment landscape will always see, the investments disappear. Like, you got to assume 80 to 90% of companies that attempt to start a venture are going to fail. That is just how it goes, right? Which means those companies are going to have some investment money come in, and then they're eventually going to lose that money. Hold on one second. Yeah, okay. So, you got to understand, like 80 to 90% of companies, not just little projects, but companies that actually get investments, they're going to disappear, just as are smaller projects, right? That's why venture capitalists, for example, assume, it's a pretty bad assumption, but this is the reality, right? If they invest in 100 companies, then they're happy if 10 of them are a success. If 20 are a success, fantastic. More than that, it's like practically unheard of. Like if you get 10 or 20% hit rates when you invest in 100 companies as a venture capitalist is pretty, is to get more than 20% is practically unheard of for most VCs. But that is their hit rate. That is what they look for. That's what they work based on, right? And if they get more than that, it's like gravy. But they don't typically get more than that, and that's why you don't normally hear them saying any numbers that are better than that, because it just generally doesn't happen, right? So keep that in mind. Huh? Good? Okay. Anyway, keep that in mind. Be sure you don't ignore this entire sector of the market, which is really significantly changing. Is my nose big enough? Is my note? The nose knows. Yeah, I really, again, I can't urge you enough to do the research into the AI crypto space, because just think about this, okay? I'll just give you an example without naming a company, okay? Let's say you run a content generation company, right? And content generation has basically been dollar factored down to practically no value, okay? It still has value, but far less than it used to, because the cost of entry has been reduced so much, right, that it's practically, I don't want to say worthless, because it's not, and I generate a lot of content for clients and it has value, but the barrier to entry is so minimal that anybody can do it, right, as long as they have a computer with internet access, or a phone with internet access. And therefore, if you connect that to a crypto project, right, content with crypto, okay, you can actually generate a more useful product than just straight content, right? And it doesn't have to be a cryptocurrency. It could be, but it doesn't have to be. For example, you could create a content company that's connected to crypto or blockchain, right, or Web3, that automatically creates NFTs, as some already do, right? I don't want to say who, but there's places where if you create some type of content, it automatically creates an NFT for you of that content. Automatically puts it in your wallet too, if you connect your wallet. And automatically, apart from the NFT, creates other things in the Web3 space. I don't want to say what, but like it could be ordinals apart from NFTs, and to say other things, not just those things. But it could give you exclusive access to stuff. It could give you special savings, discounts. If you refer friends, it could give you other advantages, benefits. They could gamify the product and give you advanced roles, more points, and all that stuff. Those are all things that you can do when you connect the AI with the blockchain, and then you have a permanent record of these things that can be, used to enhance the user experience as well as the user interface itself, but most of the user experience over time, right? And that's kind of the idea of using blockchain to enhance user products and user experiences so that customers are happier and they tend to stay longer and have a higher lifetime value for the companies that are marketing those things. So yeah, I mean, it all comes back to marketing, right? It's marketing and sales. That's without that, there is no company. So a lot of these companies in the AI and crypto space, by the way, right now are hiring some of the more exclusive higher end paying jobs at the moment are in the AI space. If you're a prompt engineer, and I don't mean just somebody who uses ChatGPT to ask questions, but somebody who actually knows how to engineer prompts to do specific things, to build things, to run routines, to make work more effective, more efficient for companies, right? To make routines and processes more automated for companies. Right? If you're a proper prompt engineer, which I know sounds like a ridiculous job, but it's not, right? Prompt engineers right now are increasingly programmers who are turning to becoming prompt engineers. And that really is the new way of coding, right? Whether you use, you know, whatever it is, I don't want to say what, but there's a ton of software code editors out there that are increasingly incorporating AI into them. Some are more popular than others, some are newer and gaining popularity. If you're a coder, you know what these things are. If you're a developer, you know what these tools are. You probably already use them. Maybe you use free ones or subscribe to ones. But you'll see, and you should already notice, and there are AI tools right now that build code fairly well. Some are better than others. Personally, I find that the ones that are completely free don't do nearly as well of a job as the ones that have a premium option. It's kind of for obvious reasons, right? They're going to not release the best agents for free. They're going to release the absolute best ones for a premium, at least until some giant decides, yeah, we're going to do this for free. Like maybe Gemini Google will suddenly make their free version of Gemini, beat everybody else's up just by being for free. But unlikely that they'll be able to completely dominate that market from end to end, because there will always be niches and verticals where specialization makes a difference and where there's a demand for that. So, but that's just, example, again, without giving you any, I'm not urging you to use ChatGPT or Gemini or any of the other things, Claude or whatever, like or Cursor software development, none of those things. Again, like I'm not promoting any of those things, okay? Specifically those things I'm not promoting, even though I've mentioned their names, but I'm not telling you to go all in and invest in Google or something like that, right? Or, invest in the whatever companies are doing those projects. I'm not saying that at all. In fact, I'm saying don't. What you should do is, or certainly don't listen to me, do whatever you want. Don't listen to me on this stuff in terms of what to invest in, because I'm not going to tell you. But do know what is happening in the space, because it is so, frankly, so new, right? Yes, it's already a couple of years old, which is not new in the space, but it is new in the world of investing. And the last year really has seen these projects begin to percolate, and we're starting to see more and more investments happening in this space. We're starting to see more and more people. Yes, the market is in a bit of a time right now where it's very turbulent, right? A lot of volatility. Things are going up and down, up and down, up and down. But there's growing interest in the AI crypto sector, not diminishing interest, right? Over time, there's growing interest. Why? Again, it's kind of obvious. Combine big data with crypto tech, and you've got significant information about a growing number of users in a multi-ledger system that is able to keep an accurate record that is immutable and indisputable, essentially, right? And uncensorable and all, portable and all this kind of stuff. Updatable, obviously. So these are massive opportunities being built right now, and I highly recommend, again, learning about it if you haven't already, and digging deeper into seeing what is of interest to you, what potential gaps there are in the marketplace that you might help fill, right? Or what potential gaps are on the marketplace where you might see something worthy of investment or trading or whatever. Get to know which AI projects are out there. I'm not even going to tell you which people that talk about it a lot I would recommend listening to, because again, I don't want to give you any undue influence on this stuff. I don't want to suggest to you something that goes and say, oh, he told me to go listen to that guy and he told me to buy this and then I did, and it's still your fault. No. Go do your own research, like literally, okay? And again, the things that I mentioned are the most generic ones practically. So, and don't, don't use any of them as don't like literally none of them are things that I told you to do. Okay, specifically, I'm telling you not to get into those unless they're really something you like, and they're going to be the most obvious ones. It's like me saying I like Bitcoin. Like okay, duh. Like who doesn't? If they're in the crypto space, and I know some people don't, but most people do, right? Well, at least half the people in the crypto space like Bitcoin. Let's put it that way. The other half, I don't know what they're thinking. They're thinking, oh, we can do this crypto thing without Bitcoin. Okay, yeah, you can, but why? Again, and I got a lot of issues with Bitcoin, as you know, if you watch my videos. It's a terrible tragedy, in my opinion, that it is not decentralized. It is a tragedy that the people that own the vast majority of it are basically like 13,500 people who have practically all the money in the world and don't need any Bitcoin, but they have it and they own practically all of it. And there's very little left for the other 100 million people that have any amount of crypto. So it's quite sad, but that's how it is, like this is how it is, You're talking like 1 million people have maybe, whatever. The numbers are so terrifyingly small that if you look at what actually is happening in that space, it's quite sad, in my opinion. But that's another reason that I like Litecoin, and I spoke about that a lot. I'm not going to go into that right now, other than just to remind you, it's extremely rare also, just like Bitcoin. And there's far less of it than people realize. There's only 84 million coins max supply and all that. And I really like Litecoin for a lot of reasons. It's basically the alt to Bitcoin, the real alt of Bitcoin. And I think people will realize that at some point, and we will see Litecoin prices fly through the roof before anybody really takes notice. And I don't know when that's going to happen. Maybe it'll never happen. Maybe. But the probability of it happening quite significant, and the places it can go are still quite significant, as long as it just remains doing what it's always done, which is to be a fork of Bitcoin that is showing you the bleeding edge, basically, because they're always testing the information first, the ideas first on Litecoin, right? That's the whole point of it, is to be a test net for Bitcoin. And I think that has extreme value, even just by being a cryptocurrency, right? Even if they stop being the test net for Bitcoin, but they always maintain the same code updates, or at least the key ones, I think that would be more than enough for it to have significantly more value than it has now. Anyway, that's going to be it for now. I'll talk to you guys later. Remember, AI and crypto, massive opportunities, in my opinion. Getting into it is a smart thing to learn about it, at least, and know what's going on. Okay, that's it, folks. Take care. See you later. Happy trading.